Ladies and gentlemen, he's a dear friend of mine. He's better looking than me, which really pisses me off. He was gracious enough to... You stop it. He was gracious enough to give us his time last year, and he's gracious enough to give us his time this year. Please put your hands together in a warm welcome to Jared Padalecki. Jared Padalecki! In the back.
Yes, with a hand.
First of all, looking forward to Las Vegas. That's going to be an awesome party.
Yes, it will.
And I was wondering, when Zach introduced you and he called you, one of his best friends, how did you meet and how did that happen?
We met in...
Well, in fairness, I said dear friend. There's a nuance to friendships.
He should clarify. We met in London.
No. We actually talked about this last year. We met playing basketball.
We met playing basketball.
We met playing basketball
in London.
with your manager, Dan. Yeah,
that's right.
We all played basketball together. There was a gym. I'm going to stand for this. Thank you. There was a gym. There's like an open gym. We'd all play some pickup basketball in. That's right. Exactly. And then prior to that, before I played basketball with him, he beat me out for the role in Gilmore Girls. So I really didn't like him very much. But then he was really good at basketball, so I was like, all right, we can be friends.
Just tall, man. Just tall. Yeah, that's right.
And then we had an awesome time hanging out in London.
We had an awesome time in London. We did some press in London, and a lot of times those press junkets can get really wacky. I mean, you're fielding questions all day long, and I think we just got along. I mean, don't tell him, but he's a pretty low-key, honest, mellow guy, really friendly and genuine, and does great things for a great cause. I mean, look why we're all here right now. No. And maybe one of these days we'll live in the same country so we can hang out. But yeah, soon enough. Life is long. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Sorry to anyone who might be sort of sick about hearing about Marvel, but I just wondered if you'd seen Endgame.
Marvel, say it again?
Marvel, and if you'd seen Endgame yet, and if not, are you planning to? Are you interested?
I am super interested. I've actually never seen any of the Avengers movies. Take it easy. I am very interested. I just haven't had the time, really. I'd love to, but if I'm going to sit down, it's not super realistic for me to cut out a couple hours of my life, you know what I mean? Without my kids, my wife, my friend, my puppy. And if I'm traveling, I don't want to watch Avengers on an iPad, Like I want to watch it on a big TV if I can't see it in the movie. So I haven't seen any of them yet. I know a few of the guys. Chris Evans has been a buddy for a long time.
Yeah, we're going to need picture proof of that.
I have picture proof of when he and I tested for a movie together called The Perfect Score 17 years ago or something.
Yeah, please tweet that one.
All right, I gotta find it. Because we sat there, this must have been, 2002, 2001, 2002? And he and I, back in the early days in LA, used to audition together a lot, because we were both young white guys, I suppose. So we see each other all the time. And then I remember when I had my broken hand going over to his apartment when he was shooting Fantastic Four in Vancouver. Known him for a long time. So I great guy. And obviously I know Momoa pretty well. Is he in Avengers as well?
No.
He's not.
He's DC.
He's which?
He's DC, not Marvel.
Shows what I know. I gotta get with the times.
Hi, my name's Ashley. I come all the way from Pennsylvania.
Hi, Ashley from Pennsylvania.
So I've been working in the food service industry for 10 years now, and I just wanted to know what it was like working on Waiting, because that movie, I was working at Ruby Tuesday at the time, and Shenanigans and Ruby Tuesday are a lot alike, but were a lot alike at the time, so I was just wondering what it was like working on that movie.
It was awesome. It was so great. I had also worked in the restaurant industry. When I first got to LA, I was a waiter for about 3 years. I got super good at it, like too good. And I was like the Justin Long character in that movie where he's like, I want to make you manager. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready. I wanted to be an actor. So I kind of had that experience too. And so I loved working on it. It was such a great cast. And it was, Anna Faris and Ryan Reynolds sort of got, before they got like uber famous, but they had some success. But we were all kind of just in the same boat. It was an ensemble. There were no like stars. We just were all in the same boat, and it was in New Orleans. And so we shot in New Orleans for about a month, and we were all pretty young. And so we were living that life off camera too, and really bonding with each other. Just had a great time. And we were all best friends, and I still keep in touch with some of those people. Justin Long and Anna are good friends, and I don't see Ryan as much anymore because he's so huge. But he was a really good dude. We had a really fun time together. And my favorite Ryan Reynolds thing was that towards the end of the shoot, he was kind of quiet. He wasn't kind of sure about us at first, and then he was like, "Oh man," he kind of came out of his shell and realized that, "Oh, you guys are cool. I want to hang out with you." So he hung out with us a lot more. And then towards the end, you talk about having a set crush. A lot of times people talk about having a set crush, and I kind of have a thing for the girl who does the clapper or whatever. The guy's the focus puller. Some actress said, I think he's cute. It's a dumb little thing. That's my set crush. It doesn't mean anything. Ryan Reynolds said that I was his set crush. So I got that going. I kind of told my kids, I was like, yeah, Deadpool said he had a crush on me. You're weird, Dad.
Nothing to do with Supernatural, but would you like to work with Saoirse Ronan or Emily Browning again? Absolutely. Saoirse and I have done 2 films together. The first one was The Lovely Bones, when we were but wee children, and the second one was The Host. And she's like a sister to me. Her and my wife are super close. She's one of those very, very rare, special people and actors who somehow have, I know how she hasn't gotten jaded, and that's because of her mom, Monica. She was raised right, and she's one of the good ones. And Emily, I don't know Emily that well. We only did a couple of scenes together, so I don't know her as well. But yeah, I mean, absolutely, I would absolutely love to work with her too. Just Saoirse and I have a deep friendship, so I would always jump at that opportunity.
Yeah, I've known Robbie for 10 years or something.
Longer.
11 years?
Longer. I mean, probably
12 years. I think no more than 12 years.
Is that where we max out?
No, I think
she's not going to 40.
20 when we max. So yeah, I guess so, 11 or 12 years.
So yeah. He's asked me for a grand total of 0 favors since I've known him, and this was the first one, and he thinks it was a favor, but it really wasn't, because it was a really, really fun thing. I like to do videos like this with friends, and this one was definitely one of the bigger budget or bigger concept ones, and it's really, it's all of our buddies hanging around but wearing silly outfits and making a really sweet movie.
Did you have Lizzie in mind when you were her role?
Absolutely. It's funny, like I went up. No, it's true.
You wanted Zoe Deschanel.
I couldn't get Zoe. My first call was to Zoe. And when I realized I didn't have her phone number, and then shooting it with her with like these words that I wrote for her intended to say was a pretty great experience.
Is this your office, or is this where?
Yeah, this is my office at home in Los Angeles. I'm just got some artwork on the walls, some Michael Muller, some stuff, just kind of hanging out. There's things on like every wall.
I'm looking at one sign that I can see in the upper left-hand corner because I'm a fan of yours since Gilmore Girls, and it says,
"Oh yeah, right here."
I love
Dean. Says, I love Dean forever. And that was the certificate that you get when you're nominated for an Emmy.
Oh my gosh, is that rubbing it in his face? What is that?
No, not at all. I mean, Jared and I are really good friends, and I made the sign for some photograph that somebody was looking for online or something, and so I made the sign. And after I made it, I just said, well, let me just hang on to this because this is cool. And I literally just kind of stuck it right onto my Emmy notification. That was,
Oh, it just happened to be there. Yeah, just no big deal. It just happened to be there.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
You played the character Jess Mariano on Gilmore Girls?
Yes, I played Jess Mariano on Gilmore Girls.
You said before you're on Team Dean. Is that still true?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's kind of influenced by my love of Jared Padalecki, because he is such a wonderful human being, and because of that I'm like, forever I love Dean. I love the character because I love Jared. But also Matty Zucri. Matty Zucri is a really great guy too. But I was not such a fan of Logan, his character, but Matty's the best.
So you also have done some fun, interesting things before Supernatural, and hopefully you'll act many years in the future. So who is someone you've worked with in the past, not from Supernatural, who you got some really good advice from, and who would be your top person to work with in the future? Anyone?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna, just because I had this conversation yesterday, Milo Ventimiglia is we both worked with some great actors and actresses, but he's on my mind. We were just texting. When he came on Gilmore Girls, we were kind of in competition. Not really in real life, but certainly on the show for Rory's Love and stuff. But he took me under his wing and kind of was like, hey, he's from Venice, and so he grew up in LA, and he kind of knew different spots. He was like, hey, what do you like doing on your time off? And I was like, I don't really know, like I play video games. He's like, all right, well go do this hike, do this job. I was like, great. And I remember when I was on Gilmore Girls, like season 1, I didn't know if you had some time between your next scenes, you could like leave and go get something to eat. So I would just like sit in my trailer. Like, I was fresh off the boat, I was like a teenager from San Antonio, Texas. And he was like, hey man, let's go get some lunch. I was like, we can? I was like, yeah, we're like not in the next 3 scenes. Like, let's just go for a drive. I'll drive you down. And so he was and is a great guy. And so it was just nice to be around somebody who, is supposed to be your competition. But he was like, hey man, come on, let's go hang out. I was like, oh, that's cool. So I appreciated him.
Rory helped Dean grow in the same sense, where Dean was from a simple town, he had a simple family, and he met this girl who reads, and oh God, I missed your musk. I love you.
I love you too. I'm back up.
Are you really?
I'm back up, yeah, man.
All right, I'll see you. Yeah, text me. All right. Love you. Yeah, so Milo's ass is just really solid. If you throw a quarter at it,